Happy Halloween, everyone. Or kind of depending on my editing skills and when I get this out, maybe it'll be Halloween, maybe it'll be after. So if after, hope you had a good Halloween. If it is Halloween, happy Halloween. So, with that in mind, I just wanted to do something fun for myself and because my therapist told me to be more social.
Sure, Jan.
So, I decided that I wanted to do a Scooby-Doo review because Scooby-Doo is my all-time favorite TV show. It's my TV show of choice, as you can tell from the Legos. I am a little obsessed, just a tad, a lot. I am very obsessed, and so I wanted to do something fun and make a Scooby-Doo review of the first episode of What's New Scooby-Doo. It was my childhood. I remember growing up with it. It's an iconic show. So just to kind of give a little rundown of it, it premiered in 2002 on September 14th on the Kids WB channel, which is kind of interesting considering that A Pup Named Scooby-Doo ended in 1991, I believe. So there was a long period of time where it was no Scooby TV shows or anything like that. Granted, there were the movies like Zombie Island, Witch's Ghost, Cyber Chase, Alien Invaders. All of them are still fantastic. It's just there was no TV show. So this was almost a full reboot for a new generation to watch Scooby-Doo. So the first episode of What's New Scooby-Doo is called There's No Creature Like Snow Creature. So to kind of give a rundown of the synopsis of the episode, it is set at a ski lodge at a snowboarding open competition, and there is an ice monster who wants to come fuck shit up. So we open up on a snowy ski lodge with Chris Klug and Gretchen Mueller.
Whoa, getting mighty dark here. Looks like last run of the night. Who's in? Gretchen?
More tedious bravado from the great Olympian Chris Klug.
Chris Klug, I did not realize was a real person, a real snowboarder who actually was a bronze medalist. So thank you, Chris Klug. They're skiing, not skiing, snowing, not snowing, snowboarding. Chris wants to keep going. Gretchen says nah. So Chris goes out alone. As he's snowboarding though, this ice monster comes out of nowhere and he tries to like fuck him up. He dodges, but then he hits a tree. Then we transition over to the gang driving to the snowboarding open. And Fred is following his GPS and he almost kills them by running off a cliff, which is super fun. And then right after that, he almost commits vehicular manslaughter by running people over that are doing a news broadcast. Now, in the news broadcast, you have Bruce Wilkinson is the host of the event. He's a billionaire. Nancy Chang is the interviewer who is dying for a scoop. And as that is all happening, Fred dodges. Luckily, no murder, thank God. So after near missing them, the gang unloads from the van and they hear Chris Klug is injured, $1 million, and under mysterious circumstances.
Nancy, I'm sure with $1 million at stake, the other competitors will be hungry for victory.
So there's motive galore for almost anybody that is wanting to be a part of this. So to start their investigation, they go talk to Chris Klug, who is sitting signing autographs. He's injured. He's out of commission. Fred is having a full-on
cow because he is in love with him.
As they are talking to him, Avalanche Anderson, a fellow snowboarder, comes over and talks with Chris. Now, as they're talking, Fred notes that Avalanche was a part of movies, snowboarding movies in the past, and Avalanche says, oh yeah, I was, but I'm not anymore, but that was a good time, basically. And as they're kind of doing that, we transition into the gang starting their investigation that night, and Velma is wearing this giant ass puffer jacket. I love it. It is very much like a Christmas story. It is, it's like Bubble Boy. It's so funny. And it doesn't help that when Nancy Chang comes, Shaggy rolls her off, which is hilarious. But so the gang are hiding under a snow slope. Nancy Chang is coming out and she doesn't have good service and she's trying to answer her call about getting ratings in, trying to get them higher. And she says that I have a scoop that I know is going to guarantee higher ratings, which the gang finds suspicious. So as they're doing that, there is a black figure in the night. A dark figure that nobody really knows who it is. And so the gang decide to investigate. As they're doing that, though, they end up losing the figure and they're just standing in the snow. And then there's this rumble behind them. And you think that they would turn around, but they don't. They just kind of stare in front and they're like, huh, what is that? But as they're doing that, the snow creature comes right up behind them and there would usually be a moment where it's like, okay, you can take off the mask, you can see who's in it. But in this case, Shaggy says it best.
Good chance it's just a terrifying monster suit with some creep inside.
There's only one thing missing from your theory, Fred.
What?
Like the creep inside!
It's completely transparent, so they don't really know how it works. But basically, the snow creature then tries to attack them, and they narrowly get away. And as they are fleeing, Fred falls down a hill and he breaks his leg.
My leg!
Which is kind of wild considering Scooby-Doo usually never has them hurt. But yeah, his leg is broken, so Fred's now out of commission too. And as they're doing that, they run into Theodore, who's a trail manager, who takes Fred back to the hotel to kind of get taken care of. But he's also giving suspicious vibes to the gang. And as they are bringing him back, they decide to reconvene about what they want to do. So they decide to go to Theodore's cabin in hopes to see if maybe he's a part of this. And as they're doing it, they find all these skiing trophies and an article about a skier colliding with a snowboarder and it ending their career, which is assumed to be Theodore. So there's also now motive for him as well. And also, y'all, this place is dingy. It needs to be cleaned. I don't know how he would live there. There's also holes, so I think it would be cold, but you know, no judge. But anyways, as they're doing that, they hear a cry out in the night, and who is it? It's Avalanche Anderson, and he's also hurt. So, we now have like 3 people down for the count.
It's like the WWE. Scarier.
Avalanches fall. We then transition to Mr. Wilkinson, and he kind of lets it slip out that the donors are now backing off. They're not interested in the snowboarding open anymore, which is concerning. But he's still trying to keep everything under control. And as they are doing that, with that in mind, they decide that they need to put a decoy into the competition in hopes to kind of lure the monster out. And of course, instead of doing somebody like Daphne, who actually probably can snowboard, they do Shaggy, who is not very coordinated. And as we all know, it's not going to really end well. As he's doing that, though, he's talking with Gretchen Mueller, who truly, in the world, be a Gretchen Mueller. Just don't give 2 fucks and just live your life. She's a baddie. She is such a baddie. She doesn't give 2 fucks, and I appreciate that about her. But she basically kind of shoves him, and he starts going down a hill, and then Scooby, trying to save him, hops on a sled and then follows. And then basically what happens is the ice creature comes up and he's wanting to like fuck them up. And they narrowly get out of Dodge because they go over some ice. Like Jack and Rose from Titanic, actually. Well, Rose. No, it was a door, not ice. Not ice. I'm corrected. I'm wrong. I apologize. So after Shaggy and Scooby float away on a piece of ice, we then go to that night, and the gang is kind of all reconvening. As they're talking, though, we learn that Velma's now very sick, so she's kind of down for the count. Fred, his leg's broken, so he's down for the count. Then suggest to Velma to watch some snowboarding movies while she's spending time to get to feeling better. As they're talking, though, Daphne and Fred see a figure in the dark, and Shaggy and Scooby are kind of doing their own thing, so it's really only Daphne who's free. So she goes up to this top of the ski lodge to investigate.
This time, Daphne's flying solo.
No way! It's too dangerous for...
For what? For a girl? I'll be perfectly safe.
As she's doing that, the ice creature then is coming. Very suspenseful. Fred is shouting at her. She's not answering the phone. It's tragic. What's going to happen? Nothing, because she gets away. What I love, though, is she uses a hairdryer, and she's like, which is really funny to me, considering that in the end it's just like it's a fake snow creature. So it's starting to realize they need to capture this monster. It is now doing the most. It is doing the most. And so what they decide to do is they decide to get Shaggy and Scooby to kind of be decoys, and they'll lure the snow creature out. As they're doing that, though, Shaggy and Scooby, of course being Shaggy and Scooby, once the creature comes, they end up messing up the trap.
I fucked up.
And what ends up happening is they start sliding down the slope, and then they go down this old ski slope itself, and they hit the snow, impact, and then we learn that the creature is a robot. Now, with it being a robot, the gang then automatically thinks, if it's a robot, that means somebody has to be controlling it. And then that figure from the dark comes into play. He's running, and as he's doing that, Shaggy, which is so funny, he points Velma to the mountain and she sneezes, and it causes an avalanche. And the snow basically captures the figure in black, and he's unmasked to be Avalanche Anderson, who was trying to get rid of all the snowboarding competition because he wanted to win. So after Avalanche Anderson is revealed to be the villain, we transition to Shaggy and Scooby. They're snowboarding down the slopes, and they actually win the snowboarding open, and they talk to Bruce Wilkinson about getting the $1 million. And he lets them know that he is out of the $1 million business, basically meaning that he's poor, and he will not be able to give them the award money. And Shaggy's just very nonchalant. I would be kind of pressed if I didn't get $1 million. However, Shaggy was very nonchalant. And as they are talking, Scooby says his iconic Scooby-Doo line, and then we fade out into black. And that was a recap episode of What's New Scooby-Doo, the first episode. I hope that you enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it, even though it kind of stressed me out because I still don't fully know what I'm doing. I appreciate anybody who's watching this. If you have any ideas for what you would like to see, just let me know. I'm open to pretty much anything. I hope that y'all have a happy Halloween, if it's still Halloween. If not, hope it's a good November. I forgot what month we are on, but a good November. And I hope that y'all have a great rest of your day.